Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I've got some PS4 Battlefield 4 gameplay. Now normally I play on the PC, that's what I'm used to playing Battlefield 4 on, but I've switched it up today and decided to give BF4 on the PS4 a good run and see what the main differences are between the PC version. Now obviously we have a controller difference. We have keyboard and mouse on PC, controller for the console, but are there any other key differences? And without a doubt the console and PC experience is significantly different, not just because of the control scheme. However, I would like to start off talking about some of the major differences caused by a different control scheme. One of the main things is auto aim. Now obviously controllers don't have the same kind of precision that a mouse would. I'm not trying to be a PC elitist here, it's just kind of factual information. It's very hard to be just as accurate with a joystick compared to a mouse, so consoles compensate by having an auto aim feature. You can actually turn this off on the console if you wanted, but I would not recommend it. Now coming from PC to console, I noticed some major differences in how I needed to play Battlefield 4 on console versus PC. One of the main things that I do on PC is I aim down sights before moving my character around a corner to try and pick off targets. Well, on console, a lot of the time it makes sense to move around that corner while in hipfire mode before you ADS, and then use your ADS auto aim to zoom you in on the target that you need to shoot. Now every console player out there should know this, but for the PC gamers out there who haven't actually tried playing on a console in a while, when you aim down sights, if you're looking sort of near a target, generally speaking it will actually change your aim to directly on the target. At first this really seemed like cheating to me, but when everybody has it, obviously it is a balancing factor. However, this does empower certain areas of the game more than others, especially compared to the PC version. Now in hopping into the console version of this game, I was really surprised because in close to medium range combat, I was actually dying incredibly fast, in some cases a lot faster than I would expect to on the PC version. That's because in close to medium range, the auto aim really does a lot of the work for you. You just have to be looking in the general direction, aim down sights, and then put a good burst into your target. Usually the first 4 to 5 or 6 rounds will take down your opponent, which is incredibly fast. Since the PC doesn't actually have an auto aim function at all, generally speaking, a lot of your initial shots miss, and your first several shots are the most accurate. So on console, you're going to get a nice, good, accurate burst directly into your opponent. On PC, you might miss a few shots, and then when you get your crosshairs on target, your gun has actually lost some of its accuracy, so your follow-up shots might just miss on their own accord. This makes really fast time-to-kill weapons like the AEK and the Bulldog extremely lethal on the console. I mean, they're already very lethal on the PC version, but I feel like their effectiveness is even more extreme on the console version of the game. As for medium to long range engagements, the auto aim does not play as big of a role, and therefore I was finding much more safety at medium to longer range engagements. A lot of players were trying to get in closer to actually finish me off and get the final kill. Sniping, on the other hand, requires a lot of skill both on console and PC. However, I think it's even a little bit trickier on console version of the game, and on the PC version I'm always worried about snipers taking me out even while I'm on the move. On the console version, I didn't feel like I was under as big a threat while on the move from snipers. Now there are some extremely good console snipers out there, and I certainly don't want to put down any people's skills out there, but I will say generally speaking I wasn't as threatened by snipers, and just kind of staying on the move, I didn't feel like I was really getting taken out by them too frequently. One thing that I really did like a lot about the console version of the game is that soldier movement seemed a little bit more fluid. And why would this be different on console versus PC? Aren't the animations the same? Well, technically yes. However, when you're on console, you're moving your soldier with a joystick, right? So transitions between left and right movement are a little bit more subtle, and they take a little bit more time. This allows for less dodging back and forth like you'll see on the PC a lot, and you'll be missing a lot of your shots on the PC because people are side strafing left, right, left, right. On console, it's a bit trickier to do that effectively, and so you're not going to have to chase people around as much, and you get more realistic soldier movements. Because let's be honest, I don't really expect to see soldiers dodging left and right a lot while they're engaging in firefights. It's a very unrealistic looking mechanic in-game, and it's nice to not see it in the console version of Battlefield. Now, without question, there is a massive discrepancy between vehicles on console and PC. On console, they've limited the turret speed on tanks and APCs, where on PC it seems like you can turn them around incredibly fast, a lot faster than you could on the console version of the game. Now, we're pretty much used to this on PC, and I think players complain a lot if we slow it down too much, but on console it does feel a bit more realistic, and it seems to sort of balance out vehicles a little more and give the soldiers a better fighting chance. Piloting, on the other hand, seems to work out really well on the console controller. I didn't feel too slowed down with the console controller compared to PC, on top of which I found that a lot of players were missing their RPG shots, and I wasn't having to worry about SRAs quite as much, so I was actually able to dominate in the Little Bird much more so on console than I was on PC. Now, the function to change seats in a vehicle on the console version of the game almost seems like it's a really bad PC port, like the developers couldn't really think of a good way to do this efficiently, so instead of, say, picking which seat you want to switch into with the F keys on PC, you have to cycle through the seats. This slows down a lot of the more advanced vehicle maneuvers that you can potentially pull off on PC. Does this make a huge difference overall? No. In fact, I think it actually balances out the game a little bit better, because on PC you can pull off some pretty dirty maneuvers. For example, having a pilot of a Little Bird switch with the repper once his repair torch is basically exhausted, and then the other guy takes over piloting while the other guy starts repairing. That's a much slower transition on the console version of the game, so it's not really attempted too much, but while playing on PC it's extremely annoying, especially if you're up against a very tried and battle-hardened team that's used to that technique. Now, something that really surprised me, and I haven't really been able to figure out why there's such a big difference between console and PC, is that the server browser on console brought up a lot more game modes, and I was able to pick a lot of fun things that I really wanted to play, whereas on PC I feel much more limited. For example, I was able to find a huge variety of Conquest Small servers, and personally I love Conquest Small. I think it's one of the better balanced game modes in Battlefield 4. It's got a good balance between infantry and vehicles, it's not too chaotic, and it's just a lot of fun. On the PC version of the game, if I search for Conquest Small right now, I can only find 3 populated servers, and I don't really have much of a map selection or a server selection, and one of them is running 48 players instead of 32, so they're kind of throwing some of the balance out the window there. On console, I was able to find a lot of really well balanced servers with standard rules, and that was kind of nice and refreshing. Now, I'm not really sure why my server selection options seem to be so limited on PC compared to console. I remember looking at some statistics a while back showing that the next-gen consoles versus current-gen PCs were actually pretty equal in terms of population that was playing the game, but compared to the server browser that I saw on my PS4, it seemed like I had way more options. The console version also has some features that I wish the PC version had, like Squad Join. Now, I've been recording the show Squad Up for over 2 years now, and we've constantly had issues with trying to get in the same squad. In fact, practically half the time we spend playing the game is trying to get in the same squad on the same teams, having teams rebalanced and moved our squads around and stuff like that. In the console version, it seems like you get Squad Join, and that pretty much keeps you in the same squad the whole time. I haven't really tried it out, but in theory that's what it's supposed to do, and I would love having that feature on the PC side of things. Now, for the most part, you're going to get a very similar experience between console and PC, but some of the key issues that I did mention here, like engagement ranges being a little bit different on console and PC, definitely affect weapon balance, and some of the things that I've been saying for a long time might not generally apply to console quite as much, and I'll try and keep a lot of these things in mind when doing future weapon reviews. Anyway, that pretty much wraps it up for my console and PC comparison of Battlefield 4. Let me know if you play the game on both systems, and if so, are there any major differences you noticed that I might have overlooked here? As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.